Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, and welcome back to another video on Marvel Strike Force. Today, we have something insane that dropped recently. I have found the data mines files for the proper JSON files for Escape from Kiln coming back probably next week, because otherwise, if it was this week, we would have known about it. And inside those files, we know exactly what the upcoming floor traits are going to be. We know the enemies that are going to be on those floors. So this video, we're going to be taking a look at all of that and what you need to prepare for in advance, because it's probably going to be next week. I'd be surprised if it's more than that. Boy, is this a big one. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. So for the purposes of this video, we're going to be going into the full screen mode because I don't want my frame to block any of this. Now, this is JSON Viewer. It's going to be a lot of gobbledygook for most of you, but basically this is Kiln. This is Survival Tower, the code name for Kiln. And what's interesting is that you can see there's 45 entries. Now, the way that JSON files work is that usually it's +1. So like 0 is actually floor 1, for example. So floor 45 is actually floor 46. Now, what this I'm going to say it right out is that they basically just copy and pasted the old Kiln and added 6 more floors on top of that with some new traits. Okay, so all of the previous teams that you used from the first Kiln, you're still going to need to use those, which is fine because you already built them, right? And so if you're someone who had cleared up to floor 40 in the previous Kiln, then you should be good to go, more or less, right? Like you should be able to do it. You should be able to do it again, and you'll be able to use those same characters towards that. But keep in mind that in any instance where, obviously you're now having to go to 46, so you wouldn't probably want to reuse some of these characters past 40 in the event that, their health and energy is not sufficient and whatnot. But so the reason why I know this is the same is because if you open up 39, now this is the nodes themselves. You can kind of go through, and I believe if you go to the settings, you can see the characters here. And if you see on the right-hand side, I'm sorry if it's a little bit hard to read there, you can see Super Skrull, right? Super Skrull was an enemy on floor number 40. Super Skrull, Deathpool, Kestrel, Kang, Nova, Black Cat, and Apocalypse. Those were all enemies that you would find in node number 40. I don't think on the hand, I don't have the video footage, but just trust me, that was, and anyone who's done it knew that Super Skrull was there. It was recommended for you to have Super Skrull as yourself to be able to get through and beat 40. It was Super Skrull plus 2 villain bio characters, right? That was the traits for 38, 39, and 40. So what's interesting now is that we have the nodes of 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. Now, before we get into the actual waves of the nodes, however, this is the traits that were required for Kiln, aka Survival Tower. And you can see all of the old ones here. No restrictions on the first bits, and then we had Guardians, Infinity Watch, Avengers, Global Skill, City Mystic, Asgardian, Spiderverse Tech, or Spiderverse Skill. This is interesting because now this is going to this part is going to dip into Spider Society, right? Because they're all skill, and some of them are tech as well. Wouldn't really matter too much there. And then you have Global Mystic, Gear Tier 15, Global Mystic, Gear Tier 16, Villain Mutants, Hero Tech 16, Hero Tech 17, X-Men, Legendary, Villain Bio, and then this is new stuff. They included Mythic to Gear Tier 19 and Dark Dimension 7. So this file basically shows all the new added stuff. And now when you get to the bottom, you get Spider-Verse Skill, okay? And it says Spider-Verse Skill, 3 characters that you need for that. And I don't know, Gear Tier 18. So if you expand it further, they need to be at Gear Tier 18 for Spider-Verse Skill. Okay, they have to be both of them together. Gear Tier 18. Okay, so let's start that one off, right? Who is Spider-Verse Skill? Well, there you have it, right? It's basically all of Spider Society, plus Black Cat, Kingpin, and Kraven the Hunter. Okay, and in Gear Tier 18. So, yeah, you might build these Black Cat. I mean, I think Black Cat may have been used in some previous floors, and, it's 3 characters, right? Keep that in mind. So Peter B. Parker's event is this week. Pavitra was available in the offer. Maybe Penny's offer might come out at the back end of next week, possibly. So she might be available. And that does leave you actually potentially 6 decent characters that you could use, right? Let's say you didn't buy Penny's offer. I don't know how many people actually have Kingpin at gear tier 18, but you have Kraven, Black Cat, Noir, Ghost Spider, that's 4. And then Peter B, you'll probably have him. It's 15. You'll have to get him up really fast for gear tier. And then Pavitra, maybe. I think because his event is next week as well, right? So you could have 2 teams of 3 to get you through these nodes if you need to. But obviously, Spider Society is going to be very important. If you don't have them, you're mostly stuck, I would say, and they have to be a gear tier 18. So this one's pretty interesting. The next one, Cabal or Underworld. So this is shit, because for me, I was talking all about, remember the last week or so, I've been talking all about budget Cabal, right? But keeping them at gear tier 14 or 15 and doing that. Underworld. Who the fuck has Underworld at gear tier 18? You might have Taskmaster if you're like seriously big into war. And then Mr. Sinister would be the other one, right? So let's expand the filter part. Gear tier 18 again. So, Underworld or Cabal, right? Obviously, Cabal is going to be the best pick. The 3 Cabal is a 3-person game mode, right? So that's probably going to be your best bet. Otherwise, I could see you probably want Leader because he has the sustain, right? I mean, he's the support character, but I could see like Taskmaster and Mr. Negative and like somebody else, not Namor. It would have to be either Iron Patriot or Leader with those 2, but obviously your best bet is going to be Cabal. That's it, right? Now, where on the survival tower is, I don't know. I think it's in order, but it could just be right after villain bio. I'm not entirely sure. Like, where in the tower is this? All I know is that there's 6 new floors. I assume they could be going in order, so it's going to be like Spiderverse skill and then Cabal, and then villain bio or Undying. They seem to be bringing this one back for some reason, so we can expand this one again. And the filters and gear tier 18, so all of it's 18. Traits, Undying, traits, bio, villain. So it's either or. Which is weird because we already had villain bio. We had this in obviously the 38, 39, 30, and 40. So I don't know why they're bringing this back up again. It's the same floors, which kind of suck because that means then you might be having to do potentially more floors with the same set of characters. So for me, I mean, who is villain bio now? Just for those of you who don't remember. Here it is. Obviously, it includes Iron Man Zombie and Iron Man Zombie Juggernaut, but with the Undying tag, you can also use Hela. But of course, she has to be 18. So all of them have to be gear tier 18. So that's huge. So in the blog post from when they said take Undying to the moon or rocket their power, they meant it, I guess, because gear tier 18 is huge. It is pretty big, even for me. Like, because it's the gold. It's not just the gear, really. It's the gold and all of that stuff. So who else is included in this list? Well, luckily, you do have 3 of the Hive Mind team now. So you have Carnage, Red Goblin, and Venom. You should be on the list. So you could use this 3. Obviously, Super Skrull is still on this list as well. So I would probably do some combination of Super Skrull, Red Goblin, and Carnage. Probably. For the sustain, there really is no other better characters, though, at this point. You're really scrounging, again, just like 38 through 40, you're kind of scrounging the bottom of the barrel. It is the Super Skrull game. It's going to be the Super Skrull game. Now, are these floors going to be designed specifically for Undying? Maybe. And that's where I want to go to the other floors. Again, I don't know what order it's going to be in. Let's just assume that the first 2, there's going to be 6 floors. So maybe it's 2 floors and not 3 floors. Let's just assume the first 2 are going to be for Spiderverse skill and whatever this stuff here. And then the next 2 are Cabal. And the next 2 are going to be villain bio. So let's just jump to 40. Let's just go through 40, right? This is 41. So you can go through the settings, you can see the characters, and you see on the right-hand side here, you see Leader. Then you see Namor. You see Moonstone, Iron Patriot, Absorbing Man, Abomination, and Kang the Conqueror. 7 enemies here for the first floor 41. I'm assuming that is probably going to be the Spider Society characters or whatever you end up taking in there. So that's interesting. Let's do 42. Settings, characters, Black Knight. There's a fucking Black Knight in Kiln, where you might have to deal with that with Spiderverse skill. Starbrand, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Ghost Rider Robbie, Red Hulk, Photon, Silver Surfer, Captain America, and Black Cat. That's a fucking big one. Like, even if you are supposed to use Spider Society, you're not getting raid kits in this either. That's just insane. That's an insane set of characters. I don't know if this is Spider Society necessarily, but whoever ends up being for the enemies, the fact that Black Knight's in there is just absolute insanity. I'm not surprised, but like, I don't know what rewards they're going to be. People are going to ask, what diamonds are going to be. I have no idea, right? And so we're going to have to wait until the Friday blog post to figure that out. I'm not here to tell you that, but let's go to floor 43. We have settings here. Characters. Red Goblin, Kraven the Hunter, Rhino, Spider Slayer, Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin Glider, Classic, Lizard, and Vulture. So a lot of Sinister Six members or villain city characters. You do have Red Goblin in there as well. I think that was the only Hive Mind character in there. So again, this could be the Cabal Underworld floor. And if that's the case, it would suck to use Underworld because there's a Rhino and Taskmaster blinds everybody, which means that he's going to shake that off. So good luck. They want you to use Cabal. You're fucked on these floors unless you have the new teams, right? GT Gear Tier 18 or above. And I do not have the resources nor the time to even get all of those up in the... Well, maybe I could. I don't know. It's going to be really tough. You do get a week. I think they give you a week to do Kiln, so I guess technically from now, you probably have about 2 weeks maybe. Floor 44, enemies here. There's 2 waves, it looks like, actually. Maybe, oh, no, never mind. Okay, I thought there was 2 waves. We have Hela, Lizard, Zombie Iron Man, Morbius. That's a weird one. Dr. Voodoo. Oh, Dark Hunters? Green Goblin Classic, Ghost Rider Robbie, and Zombie Juggernaut. So you're fighting Undying? Sort of? Undying. Yeah, you're fighting Undying with Lizard, Morbius, Dr. Voodoo, and Ghost Rider Robbie. Fucking Ghost Rider Robbie. I think he's shown up a few times now. That's nasty. Okay, so that could be, again, the Cabal Underworld tag. I think that's what it's going to be. Now, finally, we have the last 2. Let's check that out. So this could be the Villain Bio Undying set of characters. There's 9 characters. Korg, Green Goblin Classic. Again, I don't know. They seem to love chucking him in. Nova, Red Hulk, Apocalypse, Rogue. Oh, shit. Like all the Horsemen. Archangel, Rogue, Apocalypse, Red Hulk, Nova. Is there a Morgan Le Fay? Nemesis? Okay. Archangel and Nemesis together? That's not nice. And Dark Beast. Wow. So 3 Death Seed. There's no Morgan Le Fay. Korg. I don't randomly fucking Korg's in there. Oh, Nova. That's why. Okay. So I don't know nowhere enough to know, like, is Korg, he's probably just going to taunt or do some other shit. I'm not sure. And then finally, we have the last level. And I already had this out. So Gwenom, Symbiote. Oh, Void Knight. Sorry. Yeah, Void Knight, Symbiote, Silver Surfer. Venom, Red Goblin, Black Cat. So 4 Hive Minds so far. And Black Cat, Miss Marvel Hardlight, Carnage. All the Hive Mind are there. Sorry. Black Cat, Miss Marvel Hardlight, all of the Hive Mind characters, and Cosmo. Why Cosmo's there, I have no idea. He does a little bit of clearing outside of his team, I guess. So I'm assuming this is the final floor for Villain Bio. Villain Bio / Undying, right? So if you have Undying available to you, that's more characters that you'll be able to use on these floors, especially if your health is not doing so well on the back of floors 38 through 40 when you go back through this again. So interesting stuff. I'll leave you guys here with this one. Spider-Verse skill, Cabal or Underworld, and Villain Bio or Undying. Now, most of us will have a lot of Villain Bio already. However, whether or not you can go through 2 sets of floors with your same group of Villain Bio is a complete another question, right? But you are going to make use out of Hive Mind here, so you might be okay because there are more Villain Bio characters depending on what you have now versus what you had then for Kiln. But it does very much look like that they're just repeating and regurgitating the first 40 floors, and they're adding 6 more on. And this time they're adding the new traits, which is largely the ones they told us about, right? Spider-Verse skill is Spider Society, pretty much, and then Cabal and Undying. And there you are. That is your news update for Escape from Kiln. And I hope that this is helpful. And let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are you going to do this, or are you going to wait until we hear what diamonds are available, what characters are up for grabs? I'm not sure, honestly, because now that I saw that Cabal, well, I mean, if I can't get through Cabal, I mean, there's no point in upgrading my Undying. I'm not upgrading Undying. So most likely, I am not going to get to beat floor 46. We'll see what kind of rewards are up for grabs. You know, maybe I just save your gold now, I guess, and then we'll wait until we actually see what the rewards are and whether or not this is worth it, given what we know now in terms of that you're going to have to upgrade all of these new characters up to gear tier 18 pretty quickly within the next 2 weeks. So that's the end of this video, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. And until next time, stay safe and healthy. I'll see y'all later. Boilon signing out.